You're frozen. I'm not frozen. Wesley. Apparently Wesley has left, and I'm all alone. Rejoiner Nation, we are back and better than ever with a new edition of the Weekly Rundown. I'm your writer host, John Dolovecki.
And I'm your better host, Wesley Harden. What are we talking about this week, John?
This week on the show, we have results from the CRC Virtual Mile Challenge. There was tons of Rejoiner Nation members out for this event. We also have some upcoming races and some amazing activities from the world of Strava. But first, let's see what happened with Mr. Barty this week.
Alrighty, Paul Barty did what he always does, the half marathon streak. This is week number 496. Yeah, that looks about right there. And number's 497.
Almost 500, it's amazing.
Yeah, he's moving pretty well up the half marathon leaderboards. So we'll keep an eye on for you, Barty, and we'll see you next week.
We did actually have a race that took place recently up in Columbus, Ohio. The Columbus Running Company put on a virtual mile challenge. This format was very similar to the Backyard Ultra format, except you had to run 1 mile every 15 minutes instead of your typical 4.16667 per hour. Unlike a Backyard Ultra where a champion is crowned, the CRC team decided that the event would end at 61 miles, and if there were multiple finishers, the fastest time would win. There were 6 runners that made it to the full 61 miles. Tom Anderson, we had Andrew Michael, Sam Foster, Jared Holden, and the men and women's champions were 2 Rejoiner Nation members. Who were they, Wesley?
Well, John, I'm glad you asked. Sarah Beal was the women's champion and the only woman to make it the full 61 miles. This was Sarah's first ultra experience. If you guys don't remember, we had her on RRLive earlier this year to talk about her Olympic trials experience in Atlanta. And we really hope that we are able to convert her over to the dark side on the trails in the future. Epic performance, Sarah. The men's champion, the man himself. We all know him and we all love when he wins a race.
Cue the track, Wesley.
Shawty wanna take a horse ride. We've been winning, you will never see the scores.
Let's go! Travis Zipfel won the challenge by over like an hour and a half or something absolutely bonkers like that. But the craziest thing was that his 61st mile was the fastest mile by anyone the entire day, and that was a 6:08 mile. Travis is having himself quite the year, and we're excited to see what he can do once races are able to return. Great work to all of the runners who competed in this event.
In other race news, it appears that the Monte Vino Races presented by Bad to the Bone Sports are taking precautions to allow their events to go on this fall. The Monte Vino Races will take place this October 17th and 18th in one of the most beautiful locations in the Blue Ridge Parkway. This first year event will be held at 12 Ridges Vineyard. The field will be limited to 50 runners for the half marathon and 50 runners for the marathon on Saturday. On Sunday, there will be 50 runners in the half marathon distance and 50 in the 50K distance. Yes, 2 half marathon distances on different days allow for more runners to compete safely. Registration opens on July 1st and runners will be able to reserve their spot. Cards will not be charged until August when the race is 100% certain that it will go on.
This race is going to be epic, John. It's super exciting to see race directors take innovative approaches to ensure that their races can still take place safely. I know that I'm excited to see the Canal Corridor 100 take place in a few weeks because that race is loaded with talent this year, and I'm super excited to see how the whole thing shakes out.
All right, are you looking for a little extra motivation? Do you have a project that you've been looking forward to start but don't know how? If you do, you really need to check out the most recent episode of Rejoiners Live with Jessica Vandenbush. She provided us with so many insights on how she's been able to start her own trail run magazine and so many other successful adventures like the Burning River Trail Film Festival. Remember, you can find those on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. Now for our Strava rundown. Remember, if you want to get noticed on the rundown, join the Rejoiners Club on Strava by visiting that link in the description. Wesley, is this the whole reason you wore a rain jacket today?
Oh yeah, dude. When you gotta match your outfit to your dance move, that's always the go-to here. A little rain dance, I think, is bringing this one down. So I think that's how this works. So I'm gonna do it one more time. Rain dance this week. let's get out of this segment.
Kurt Sykes had an awesome run out at the Bailey's Trails over the weekend. It's awesome to see how people are utilizing those new trails in Southeast Ohio. Awesome job, Kurt.
I honestly didn't think it was that great.
No?
Psych! It appears that Gary Money Smith was attacked by a red-winged blackbird during his run. It landed on his hat mid-flight and started to peck his head. That's just absolutely bonkers. Gary mentioned that it felt awfully familiar as a cockatiel owner. I think that's how I said. He ended it with birds brah. Wow. Well, Gary, you should know better. Keep your head on a swivel. You never know what's going to come out of nowhere. Great work, Gary.
Crystal Miller had an epic run and ride with this group through Marietta. These pictures from this adventure were absolutely awesome. Marietta is definitely an underrated spot to run and bike along the Ohio River. Well done, Crystal.
Clarissa Hitchen was back in action, and this was her first run in 6 weeks. I know there are so many people that have been missing sharing the miles and the trails with you, so we're super excited to see you starting to ramp things back up. Maybe you return to the Bigfoot 50K and looking to repeat on your podium finish there. Let us know if that's in the cards. Great work.
Brayton Gates has had an absolutely super impressive year so far and has an awesome 17-miler at a 6:11 pace with Brad this past weekend. Brayden mentioned it was ideal cotton t-shirt weather. Wesley, I think we've got to get Brayden to send us a gear review on cotton t-shirts because this seems like a ludicrous choice for a long run. Good job, though.
Erica Fiegels took some of my favorite photos from this past week down in the Delaware/Maryland area on the coast there. While I worked in Delaware, I still do not understand the geography of that state. It's just absolutely bonkers to me. Nevertheless, the beach, she was on the beach, and Ridge Runner Nation is definitely jealous looking at these awesome photos. Hope you enjoyed it.
It looks like Matt Holtwick did the Limitless Vertical Challenge just a few weeks after everybody else. And wrapped up just this past week. Matt climbed 14,564 feet over the course of the week. Awesome work, Matt. We hope to see you continuing to keep those vert numbers just sky high. And with that, thank you for tuning into this week's rundown from the Ridge Runners. Be sure to check back next week to stay updated on all things trail and ultra, mostly east of the Mississippi.
And Nick Voss.
In addition, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell below if you want to be notified every time we release a new video. If you're enjoying our shows, give it a share with your friends, hit that like button along the way. I'm your Redder host, John Dolovecki.
And I'm your better host, Wesley Harden.
And we'll see you next week on the Weekly Rundown.